Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Life as It Happens. I'm excited to be back in your eardrums, and I have a very special show for you today. On Episode 6, I have none other than the only man you would want as your man crush Monday and your woman crush Wednesday. Pioneer of style, fashion stylist, entrepreneur, who styled the likes of Carrie Smirnoff, Little Kim, Tila Tequila, Yessie Ortiz, B. Scott, Taylor Ali, Amber Riley. When Hollywood says they woke up like this, they're referring to this phenomenon. And I'm pretty sure he fights crime at night. Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony, aka Mr. Bradshaw. Hi, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me.
I guess thanks for we'll both thank each other for having each other. How about that?
Yeah, that works. I actually have to confess something. You are the first man, besides Jesus, who I spent a good day picking out what I was going to wear to come meet you. Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. I'm honored. Me and Jesus. All right.
Yeah. I know. Get shit for it, but it's okay. I don't mind. Yeah, I was like...
Well, I like your jacket, and I like what you're wearing. So, yeah. Good job. And we're both wearing beanies.
Yeah. And I rode my bike here, and so I have my tennis shoes, and I put these shoes in my backpack. And I was like, okay. I'm like, no, you can't look bummy. You can't kill it for yourself. So.
You're funny.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the extra effort.
Yeah, see? And, some of my ex-girlfriends would be like, well, he didn't even try for me. So they're going to be like, what's so special about him? Yeah. Well,
that's so funny.
Yeah. Well, they're not changing the world through fashion. So,
I'm trying to. One public win at a time.
Yeah, I try to uplift people, upgrade people.
I do.
That's basically what you do with your life.
I do. I try to, but it's not just on the exterior; it's in the interior as well. I like to make people feel their best inside and out, and I guess I have a good way with words as well. Kind of a salesperson, if you have it. I sell like an outfit, obviously, like to tell them, well, looks great on you, but I also want them to feel that when they are because for the most part, I get booked to do jobs for like interviews or public speaking engagements or anything like that. So I'm like, I want them to go in there and really show out,
Yeah, of course. Make them feel as good as they feel inside. Outside, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've seen you work on a bunch of people, famous people now.
Yes.
I didn't even think you'd accept. You'd be like, who? I don't know this little guy. I don't know him.
Listen, there are, like how they say in acting, there are no small parts. There's only small actors. I definitely feel like there are no small interviews. There's only small-minded people. And I will always make time, if I can, for any and everything that comes my way.
See, we had like a 4-hour conversation before this started.
Yes, we had I got to know a different side of you because I know you from high school.
Yes.
Like, everyone should know that. And it's crazy how much 10 years, and I can say that honestly and proudly, that we both have been out of high school for 10 years.
Yeah.
And life has taken us in some crazy roller coaster rides.
Yeah, without revealing our age, because we stopped aging at 25.
Yeah,
we're 20.
I'm forever 21. Like Red.
Yeah. You're 21. I'm 25. It's fine. Yeah, I expected to walk in here and get patted down by security and have some a couple of guys just staring me down okay, not make sudden moves or anything like that.
And here you are, alone with me at my home. And see, perceptions on the internet and perceptions on social media are so different than reality.
Yeah. Well, I did have to get through the door. That I kept putting the code in and it wouldn't let me in. I was like, I feel catfish. He's not even here. He's somewhere else. He's in Georgia or somewhere, popping bottles, and I'm just here in the wrong building. Just they won't let me in. It's okay.
No. You got in, which is the important part.
Yeah. So, what are you up to?
Well, today, as you saw while we were having our 4-hour conversation before we started this, I just got done with like a live feed on social media because I styled the hostess for the Love and Hip Hop New York reunion tonight on VH1. It aired tonight. We did this job almost 2 months ago, but I can finally tell people that I did the job.
Oh, yeah.
That's the tough part of my job, that I can't always say when I did something right away. I have to wait a couple weeks, if not months, sometimes up to a year when I do like a movie or something before like I can say, hey, I was a part of that. So yeah, it was cool to be able to sit down with you tonight and then also interact with fans and stuff online.
Yeah, I know. I know how that works. It's people think that it just you do it today and it airs tomorrow. There's editing, there's stuff like that. Maybe they don't use footage, or maybe they use something else, and it just kind of
it happens all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I was trying to track you down for a long time. Like a creepy stalker, I kept pushing and pushing to get you on the show.
Gotta say, you're very persistent, and I appreciate. I told you, I appreciate that in a person.
Yeah, see,
I like persistency.
I actually have to thank you because you did the show, and this is I'm firing shots at the people who don't even have half the pool. They don't know half the people. The most important person you know is your mom. And you guys stood me up, and you guys were full of yourselves, ego tripping, like, oh, he's looking for me, and blah, blah. This guy is a real star. He rubs elbows with everyone. He pops champagne with everyone. His shoes cost more than your car note. And he's sitting here across from me, and we're doing the show. So,
and having a drink. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, see? Vodka. Our best friend right now.
Ooh, that's strong.
Yeah, see? And you guys, this is like a big slice of humble pie.
It is. And I honestly have to touch on that because a lot of people, as they grow and up their own ladders, they lose touch of what, reality is or where they come from. And I was raised to always treat, no matter if it's a homeless person on the street to like the president of the United States, treat them all the same because they're people. People are people and they're human beings and people deserve love. I mean, I'm the biggest advocate for, LGBT rights and the right for me to be able to love another person that's of my same sex. And who am I? I'd be basically contradicting myself if I didn't do that.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
And for all those people who, I know certain people, like I make jokes and stuff, but I make jokes about myself as well, being short, fat Mexican. Mm-hmm. I always refer to myself, and people that are like, oh, you have low self-esteem. I'm like, no, I just don't take myself too seriously. And so, there's people who are like, oh, you act so like macho or whatever. I respect anyone and everyone. As long as they have a good attitude, that's fine. Because most of the people that I have problems with, they're from my country.
Right.
And they are straight. And they like the same things that I like. So all that's no guarantee that someone's going to be a good person. So it doesn't matter.
It's having an open mind.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times having an open mind has helped me further my career, has helped me make great friends, and has most definitely helped me like learn something new about myself, Yeah. So it's been great.
One of the things I have to recommend to you, because I see that you're into a lot of self improvement. There's this thing called, have you ever heard of the four agreements?
The 4 agreements, I've not heard of that.
The 4 agreements are be impeccable with your word. That means always being, integrity is important. If you say you're going to do something, you do it. If you have to reschedule, it's fine. But as long as you do it, you keep your word, that's fine.
Right. Which I did.
Yeah. Yes.
With you.
Don't take anything personal. That means if you run into an asshole, he's going to be an asshole to everyone, not just you. Right. He's just small-minded, whatever. If someone cheats on you, they're going to cheat on everyone. Anyone who walked in through the door would have gotten it the same way.
Right.
Don't make assumptions. Then
that's the biggest thing to work on.
Me getting patted down when coming into your apartment. That I was assuming I would have gotten frisked or something, but but it wasn't that bad. So, and always do your best, which that you have no trouble with.
Yeah, I can always say I don't like to put my name or attach myself to anything that I know I won't excel in, and that could be a good thing and a bad thing, because sometimes I'm asked to do challenges or things that I'm like, oh, I know. No, there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to win in this situation. Because I'm an Aquarius, too. So Aquarius like to win.
Oh,
and
that's why we get along.
You're an Aquarius, too?
No,
Capricorn.
No, Sagittarius.
Okay.
But my mom and some of like my best friends are like Aquarius and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get along with them with Pisces. But everyone else I'm like at war with.
Yeah, Pisces and Capricorns are usually some of my best friends. And now I realize that I'm really close with Cancers. Yeah. One of my best friends is a Cancer.
Yeah. There was another one, like, it was supposed to be the fifth agreement, which is like be skeptical but learn to listen. Be skeptical but learn to listen.
I guess I abide by that.
Yeah.
So I'm very skeptical. So I guess I follow with the 4 agreements.
Yeah,
the 5th one too.
It's like 4 out of 5 is bad. That's why you're so successful. There are people that take things personally. They're like, no, he picked me out of a lineup. It's like, no, he's just an asshole. So you ain't gotta take it so personal. People do stupid things. They're gonna do stupid things all the time. Before I guess they try to blame it on, was it homosexuality? It was the Jews. Then it was the immigrants. Then it was black people. Then it was people.
It's always somebody.
Yeah, it's always someone. It's the scapegoat.
Some genre of people.
Yeah, then eventually when they start cloning people, it'll be clones. Or robots. Or something, yeah.
I mean, we'll only know until what the future holds.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy what people do. Not everything is to advance people. I think, well, for 2 people who use a lot of social media, it's good, but you have a good, healthy balance. Like, you go out and you socialize with people, and that's good. I try to push people to be like, yeah, be on Instagram, but go out, meet people, socialize with people. Don't
Try
just
not to be on the phone when you're out too.
Yeah, that's something. My exes will just they'll blame me for it all the time, but I'm a workaholic.
Right.
So, but I've worked on it a lot more, and I'll like turn off my phone and I'll just be there in the moment, enjoy the moment, and then I'll go back to work and do everything I have to do. So, yeah.
Got it. Be in the moment. That's a good one.
Yeah. You travel a lot. How's that?
I do travel a lot. It is very heavy on my body sometimes.
Jet lag?
That and like, because anytime I've ever traveled, it's very rare that I travel for pleasure. Most of the time it's traveling for work. So it's figuring out how I'm going to pack a lot of clothes into little suitcases or plan ahead and ship stuff out, but then the cost can be expensive. So it's just a lot of figuring out. And then when I get there, it's like, okay, now I need to find like the nearest local resources for certain things. But for the most part, it's a lot of fun. I'll tell you that. It was one year where I think I traveled to almost 14 countries in one year. And that was really, 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 really a lot of work. It was just like, because we were in Australia, and then Australia, the cities were so spread far apart that we had to like travel by plane, and even because the cities were spread so far apart, there were different time zones within that. So that's crazy because it's like, okay, like I can, obviously I've lived in the United States all my life, so I can say, okay, well, I know from here to New York it's 5 hours, and I know that they're 3 hours ahead. So like I'm mentally prepared for that. But when you're in Australia, in a country you've never been to, and you're like, well, I'm in Melbourne today. Tomorrow I'll be in Sydney. They're 7 hours ahead, and I'm just like, wait, I'm confused. I'm still in Australia, right?
Like, am I late?
Yeah, like, sorry. Am I early or late? So yeah, it's one of those things. But I will say this: that traveling on someone else's dollar is definitely a lot more fun.
Thing
yes,
in the world.
Yes, it is.
Like, oh, $800 a ticket. It's okay. That's fine.
I don't normally even see flight prices anymore. Unless it's something that I'm.
Unless you're.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, that's how much it would cost. Okay, cool. And then I get shocked. I'm like, wait, how much would it cost to go to London? Really? I'm like, oh shit. Well,
is there anything lower than coach?
Right.
I'll travel with the bag. It's fine. As long as I get there, it's cool.
Put me in a suitcase.
Yeah. I'm gonna get in this suitcase. Don't worry about it. I have a tank full of oxygen.
Right.
I'll make it.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll be fine. 12 hours later.
Yeah.
So yeah, traveling is a lot of fun. I get to meet a lot of interesting people, get to explore a lot of interesting places and try different foods and cultures.
Yeah, that's good. I don't like people that just kind of turn things down they don't know. They're like, oh, I don't want to try it. It's like, you haven't tried it.
I hate people like that.
I hate people that say I don't like something.
I'm so open-minded to stuff that I'm just like a little too open-minded sometimes. I'm like, wait, you want to try a frog leg? Okay. Wait, caterpillars? Okay.
Like bondage? Okay.
Like, oh, or that.
Yeah.
Whatever floats your boat.
Oh, you know that 50 Shades of Grey had people getting injured and all kinds of stuff. Like, wait, what do you want to do? Okay, I guess. Because of the movie.
I had, it's a funny story. About 6 years ago, I got a script sent to me by the person that wrote 50 Shades of Grey. And they approached me at the time, obviously, it was not yet a book or not yet even the thought of a movie, but he had his vision, the person had his vision, and I got sent the script. It's right behind you. I'll show it to you after this conversation. And it was crazy because I was like, I passed on the job. I did. It looked like too much work.
Yeah, getting beat, getting tied up and beat. Not
it just
really
like
into it.
No, I was going to be hired to do wardrobe for the movie,
all right.
for the script that I was looking at. So I was like, okay. I saw the budget. I thought it was cool, but something held me back from doing it, and I passed on the opportunity. And now here we are, 2015. It's a blockbuster. It's a hit. And I look at the script, and I'm like, damn, I should have jumped on that. But it just goes to show that when people are persistent, because the biggest trouble the person was having was finding an investor to invest in the film, in this project. And obviously, they found one. And not only did they find one, but it's such a mega hit, you know?
Well, to be honest with you, the books aren't that great.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never read the book. I did see the movie.
Well, to me, the books, because I don't criticize anything without having to read it first, and then just if I don't know everything about it, then I won't give my opinion on it most of the time. But I read the books. The books were okay, but it's kind of for people that just kind of stay home and they don't really do much.
Got it.
You know, not to put people on blast, like
kind of for like the stay-at-home mom that's having a wild sex fantasy.
Yeah, with the pool boy that just kind of looks at him and it's like, yeah, I like for him to kind of choke me a little, kind of thing.
I get it.
Because, you know, to be honest with you, I know people, I may or may not include myself in this situation where we've done more than that with, you know, ex-girlfriends, people we dated and stuff. Yeah. It's just like the tying up, the handcuffs, the blindfolds. It's not that taboo.
Pull my hair.
Yeah, it's not that taboo in certain areas, but in other areas it's like still like the 50s where if you wear your skirt a little too high, it's, you know, risque and stuff like that.
Right.
So it's for that, and to be honest with you, I saw the movie and I think they could have done a better casting.
You know, I'm usually a fan of reading the books before I watch the movie, even though most of the times it disappoints. So this was one thing. This is one movie that I went to see without even doing research on the books, and I never regret it. I thought it was a good movie. I didn't particularly care, too much for the ending, but that's only because I didn't know there was going to be a part 2 in development.
And 3,
and right. It's going to be like a Twilight situation.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the Twilight thing. Just I'm one of those people that overanalyzes things,
But you're such a romantic. I'm surprised. Go ahead.
I am, but the thing about Twilight for me is just it's kind of like when I boiled it down, it was a little girl or like a stubborn little girl who threw a girl fit and stomped her feet because she got obsessed with one guy and stomped her feet and friend zoned the other guy and just got what she wanted in the end.
Right.
And she got everyone else in trouble. She didn't necessarily care about anyone else around her. It was just like, yeah, whatever. I want him. I want him. I want him. I want him.
Well, you've been in love and you know what that's like.
Yeah, but she put herself in danger, which is, I don't advocate that. And you know, there's little girls that are reading these books and going, well, if I jump off a cliff or if I get on a motorcycle, my crush is going to come back. It's like, no, he's not. He's going to keep going with the girl
he's gonna think and thank God he dodged the bullet, and he's gonna keep going with the girl he's with now. So you gotta, life isn't a movie. You don't always get a happy ending, but you have to strive for that. I am a hopeless romantic, as you know.
As mine.
Yeah, but there's limits to it. You can't. You have to eventually have some self-respect, some dignity, and you gotta realize that you have self-worth and they lost. So the next person they're with is a downgrade. That's
Right.
what you. That's the thing. The four agreements. You always have to operate on your best. You have to always be your best, so that the next person that they find, like whoever dated you, the next person they date isn't gonna be that great. You're always gonna be the one that got away, or they're just gonna regret being stupid with you.
Very Katy Perry of you.
Yeah.
The one that got away.
Yes.
Well, that's crazy, but I mean, I like romantic comedies, but I also like real romance movies that show like real love, even though it's most of the time it's just a movie.
Yeah.
But I like to believe that things do turn out that way in real life.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm low key. I'm a very big optimist.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No, I know.
I try. I hope the things are gonna get better, but I do prepare for the worst. I
Always
do.
prepare for the worst. Murphy's Law, anything that can happen will. And
Yeah.
if you don't think that way, then you'll find yourself in constant disappointment.
Yeah. There's that. A lot of people have disappointed me, but what are you gonna do? You can only be in control of what you do, and then you just kind of hope people are better.
Amen. Let's drink to that.
Yep.
Cheers. How about we drink to everything positive that we
Yep.
both conclude into?
Anything positive, we're gonna end up being drunk in like 10 minutes. We're gonna be
It's gonna be a slur.
Yeah,
of words.
yeah, but no. You're just gonna hear two. That's just me passing out, and
And I passed out behind you.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh yeah. So I will be relentless in getting you to be my co-host and what we talked about.
Okay.
I might have a new segment for the Life as It Happens where you guys can either call up or text or leave a message on Instagram, and we will answer your love questions, because we have lived a lot. We have lived, we have lost, we have maybe thrown a brick at an ex's house. Or their car.
I can't say yes or no because I'm being recorded, but hey.
Allegedly. Maybe we're not going to admit to any of it. We might have popped someone's tires. Maybe not. But, we try to further that. We have that in common, where we want to see our fellow men and women do better.
Always. If it's not for the better, then it shouldn't be existing at all.
No. I know that it's... I'm pretty sure I know your answer, but I have to still ask. Who was the best person you've worked with?
Ugh, you're putting me on the spot with that. There's so many awesome people that I've gotten to work and meet with this career I've chosen. I can't single out one, but I'll just tell you.
Tell me a few of the ones you've had the most fun with.
Fun experience. I had a really, really good time, and still to this day I have a good time anytime I work with Little Kim, because growing up, she is who I listened to. Like, I wanted a female role model, and I got it, and I got not only a female role model, but a fashionista. The only reason why I know what Gucci and Dior and Versace and Louis Vuitton are is because of her. And I got the chance to tell her that to her face. So that was pretty cool. And not only developed, like a client-stylist relationship, but I also have a friendship with her. I was at her baby shower, all that stuff. And anytime I work with her, it's just always pleasant fun. Her fans go so hard for her. And, they're all over the world. So it's just amazing to see to this day how strong of a loyal fan base she has, and which is what I aspire to have one day. And I also really, really have fun working with my friend Yessie Ortiz, because she has access to anything in music, and she is the voice of Los Angeles. So it's crazy to see all these amazing, hardworking artists that respect the heck out of her. Like, because she makes careers. Like, she introduces them to the world sometimes, and it's crazy, like, the type of recognition and admiration they have for her, and the type of vice versa that she has for them. So I've gotten to meet and go to places and be in situations that I didn't ever think I'd be in had not been for her. So, listen, my job is just always, it never ends. It doesn't end like when the photo gets taken of my work. And it doesn't end when, like, the screening is done or whatever it is that we're doing. It's so much, I like longevity with my clients, and I like to consider them friends,
Yeah.
So
it's always better when you actually make a genuine connection with somebody, which you don't just show up and it's just business.
Right.
Sometimes there are.
I mean, there's a point where you have to keep it, business. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. Have you ever worked with Ricky Martinez?
Who's that?
She was in Power 106.
Oh, hey, I know who you're talking about. Yeah. No, I didn't get to meet her. I didn't get to her.
She's actually pretty cool. Like, one of the, like, being on the podcast, mm-hmm. She's one of the female voices that I actually like and respect, because she when she was in Big Boy's Neighborhood, mm-hmm. She wasn't just settling for just being the pretty girl, that she didn't want to be just a character in the whole Big Boy's Neighborhood. She always asks questions, and she rides really hard for LA. And so I was listening to her on one of the podcasts, and she was kind of saying, like, how I think they interviewed Drake, and Drake was kind of talking shit about Kendrick Lamar, and she was like, is anyone gonna say anything? Like, that's our guy. Like, this is LA. Like, we have to ride for the home team. And they were just kind of, she fought to actually kind of be able to ask him questions, but they didn't want to piss Drake off, because he's a star or a rapper or whatever. But I like people like that. I like people that don't just put their head down and go, okay, I'm gonna be this person,
or sell out, basically.
Yeah, selling out. And Yessie Ortiz, I listen to her too, and she's really good in radio, and she has a very energetic personality.
She's an amazing woman, has an amazing story as well.
Yeah, there's a big opportunity opened up, since Big Boy left Power 106. So
yes, and everybody's trying to fill in those big shoes. So
yeah.
It's been, I've been at the station a couple of times since Big Boy hasn't been there, and I've been at the station when he was there, and it's definitely an energy shift. But nonetheless, the show must go on. We are in the business of show, so mm-hmm. Things have to get done, checks have to be signed.
Yep. I thought about it. I was like, I'm going to be the next Big Boy.
You never know. There's always room for more new talent.
Yeah, only I'm not like 6'something" or big, or I'm just a really small boy, short boy. There you go.
That's right.
Yeah. One of the reasons why I wanted you on the show is because I always see you on Instagram, and I always see you, like, just give nothing but positivity, and I see a lot of people. I read some comments, and some people do stupid shit, and they'll. To me, it's like, if you're gonna attack somebody, don't go for the easy
target.
Yeah, easy targets. Like, oh, you're into guys. Like, yeah, that's kind of what homosexuality means. You're into your own sex, dude. Like, this is in 1950, dude. Like, get over it.
Right.
Just like.
I think that what I always set out to do since the early stages of my career, where my name wasn't, nearly as notarized as it is now. I'll say this, is that I always wanted to be a role model. I always wanted to be a beacon of light for people who don't have a voice. Yeah. I have a voice, and I also have a brain, and I'd like to consider myself as being intellectual, so I like to use what I know and what I know and how to use it to inspire the next person, And I've always said it, it's like, I want to inspire the little boy in middle America who gets picked on every day and is afraid to go to school because he'd be bullied for being or trying to be who he is,
Yeah.
or the girl who's not girly enough and that is consistently being, made to wear dresses and heels and she doesn't know how to walk in them and stuff like that. It's like, I want people who are weird. I want to be the biggest representative of the weirdos out there and let them know that it's okay to be weird. Not only is it okay, but you can eventually turn that weirdness into a business.
Yeah, eventually it's like, you mock me now, but eventually you're going to come to me for help.
Yeah, I don't ever I set out to be normal. I like to be, look, I have gray hair.
Yeah.
And I have nails and I have, a weird taste in music and fashion and the way I see things, but my views don't have to be your views. They can only be my views, and those who share the same artistic views as me will benefit on that platform with me, because I definitely share that with everyone. And those who don't get it, that's fine. You don't have to get it, but I do ask that you respect me, because I don't do this to disrespect anybody. And I don't think I'm disrespecting anybody by choosing the lifestyle and syndicating what I do, who I am, what I wear, how I dress, whatever.
Yeah. Just
no, go ahead. I just like to be me, and I hate to see kids, especially kids, be victims of stuff like that, because it's like, I'm an adult now, and I was that kid before. I was that kid that was picked on and ridiculed and bullied and all that stuff, but I turned all that around for me, and I want them to be able to do that for themselves.
And then you were that guy that everyone wanted to get next to because you had all the cute girls with you.
That was very true.
And all the hot girls, all the girls that had the bodies and everything in high school, and I was like, I looked at you and I was like, I need to make friends with him, man. Just even one of the ugly ones is still like an 8, man. So I gotta make friends with him. I do.
It's so funny that you say that, because it definitely played out that way.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate when you're down, people are like, whatever, and then when you make it, people are like, oh, I knew he would make it. I knew I was your number one supporter, and I'm like, no, you weren't. You kind of said I wasn't gonna make anything of myself.
Right.
You kind of laughed when I told you my vision, but that's the thing I tell people. It's your vision. It's our vision.
Right.
Nobody else can see it but us, and
Right.
so we either work for it and we make it happen, or we don't.
Right.
We let it die.
You sit back and you wait for someone else to make it happen for themselves, and then you're like, shit, I should have done it for.
Yeah, then you end up being one of the assistants and stuff, like your vision and stuff like that. Yeah, I always tell people one thing that my friend, one of my best friends will say, like, oh, you're just being egotistic. When I was younger, I always used to start wearing things and people didn't wear them, and then when I wore them, people laughed at me, and then like literally like a month or 2 later, a famous person started wearing them, and then it was in, and then people were like, oh, you copied them. I'm like, really? I copied them? I was wearing it 6 months ago and you said it was silly.
Right.
But
I remember that in the 90s with goggles and Janko jeans that were oversized and bucket hats and wearing your all the stupid little fashion trends. Yeah, all that. And then like people caught on to it. It's crazy. It's just crazy. Fashion is a thing that always evolves too. It comes back in full circle.
That's what I like. Fashion and music go hand in hand.
Yes.
Where there's so many different types of music. There's so many types of fashion, and
some things are timeless.
Yeah, some things are classic, like a black suit, a black tuxedo.
Mm-hmm.
It's always timeless. Never goes out of style.
Ever.
Yeah.
I don't know where you're going in a black tuxedo, but hey, you know that it works.
Yeah. You can just sit at home, watch Netflix in a black tuxedo.
Right, and it works for today, tomorrow, the next day.
Yeah, like, hey, you may not know, I'm James Bond. This is my day off. This is how I chill. But I want to ask you something, because I got asked this question when my dad was very homophobic when he was growing up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I get it. To a certain point, I get it. You don't want you have this thing in your mind, like you want to see your kid grow up, find a girl, have his kid, and live a happy life and stuff like that. And I always told my dad, like, what the hell is your problem? To where he accused me of being gay. And I was like, no, I'm not gay, but I'm not gonna let you walk around and talk ignorant and stuff because he even told me, he's like, you defend them too much. I'm like, them, really? He's like,
It's a whole
yeah,
breed of people.
yeah. He's like, what are you, gay? I'm like, I'm not gay. I don't think there's anyone that loves women more than I do, but
Right.
I'm not gonna let you walk around and look stupid.
Right.
And so there's this thing that I think came back a couple years back where someone made the suggestion of little kids of teaching about homosexuality since like elementary school or middle school or something like that. And a lot of people were pro for it, a lot of people were against it. And I even saw a few people that were gay that didn't want to. They said, no, this is something that you're born with. You can't do anything about it, but you're not supposed to teach a kid. Well, the person that was against it, and he's undeniably gay. You could even ask his boyfriend. He's on.
Right.
Yeah. Offhand, you can't say he was gay. So he goes no, and his boyfriend was like, "Well, why not?" And he goes, "Because I'm tired of all these stupid little boys, stupid little girls, claiming they're bisexual. You go and you have this fling with this guy, and you get his hopes up, and then you fall back and go, you know what? No, I'm into girls." Or a girl going and having a fling with another girl, and then falling back and going, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm into guys because you can't give me a kid, and that's what I want. And so he said that this was a matter of an adult, and a grown-up matter, where you're not going to confuse kids. You teach them what you would consider the norm, which the norm you can't really point at nowadays, but eventually when they grow up, they should have an outlet where they can be who they are, but to avoid people just kind of experimenting that they really aren't, because even with drugs, people experiment with drugs and then they don't grow up to be addicted to drugs or drinking or whatever the hell it is. He takes, to quote him, he said, I take what I am being very seriously. It's not a game. I don't want to meet some guy that gets my hopes up and then I'm like, okay, well, let me meet your parents. And then he goes, no. I think this actually happened to him, where he was in a relationship, I think for like 2 years, with this guy. And when he was ready, he was really in love, and he wanted to meet his parents, and he introduced him to his parents. But when it was time to meet his parents, he was like, no. And then, like, I think now he's like married with kids. And he was like, yeah, it was kind of a phase. And it's like, really? You broke my heart over a phase? Like, what the hell's wrong with you? What kind of person are you? You think I'm a monster? You're a fucking monster. Just you play with somebody's feelings.
Right.
And so he was against that. He was against teaching someone who can't really comprehend the idea, because it's a very sensitive subject in a way, So what do you think about that?
I think that. So what are you asking me exactly?
Yeah, no, I mean, do you think that if people decided, or teachers decided to teach about homosexuality, because we're taught about the reproductive system, about how a woman can get pregnant by a man,
right.
A man can get STDs from a woman,
right.
and all that stuff and
right.
all that good stuff, but they don't necessarily teach about homosexuality. And so there's that 2-3 kids that are there that can't really raise their hand and go, well, I'm attracted to boys, or I'm attracted to girls. What do I have to expect, or what can I do? And so they wanted to implement that into the school system, where they can teach little kids from like 5th grade and elementary and middle school about homosexuality.
I think that the age bracket you just gave me, it would actually be a good thing, because it would probably save a lot of at-risk youth from abusing of drugs, alcohol, and experimenting with things that probably are toxic for them. I say this from experience, because I experimented with a lot of things that I probably should have never experimented with, but I did it because I didn't know what being gay was. I had an idea of what it was from the media and movies and stuff like that, but I didn't know what it was like to be I never knew what it was to be a gay person that was in a positive light, basically. Because growing up from a Hispanic
No, and
home,
then growing up in the '90s, it was like you're gay, you have AIDS.
right? It was
Like,
such
really?
a stereotypical thing, exactly. And now it's like the complete opposite with the 2000s, where it's like it's being shoved down our throats through the court systems and television and music, and it's like, okay, like things are changing for the better because people are open-minded to newer things. I think that if we taught, like I said, our youth, especially our at-risk youth, we would save ourselves from a lot of heartache. There's so many, I can't tell you how many people email me about considering suicide and stuff like that, just because it's hard for them. It's hard to be in like their hometown and be themselves and stuff like that. It breaks my heart every time because it's like I've been there. I have been there. So I can only imagine what they're going through in the area they're going through it in, amplified 20 times. Because I grew up in LA, and LA was a little bit more acceptable because we have West Hollywood. We have, there's, it's just so much more open to it here. But I can't imagine being in St. Louis or North Carolina and doing the same thing that I do now. Even at times as an adult, I get scared sometimes. I'm just like, I'm going to a new place where I've never been in the United States as myself. I can't turn this off. This is me 24/7. And I don't want to. I shouldn't have to worry about that. But, there's places still that exist that don't see it like that. And you have to be worrisome. And I feel like the people that are these attackers or people that don't understand, it's just because they weren't taught that you're going to meet different types of people in your lifetime. They're going to be different color, different shapes, different sizes, different sexual orientation. And if we included that sexual orientation part, I think we would save ourselves a lot of time and trouble later on in the future.
I think people go too left with the whole thing. Excuse me, where people go, oh yeah, if we accept homosexuality, then we accept bestiality, we accept rapists, and I'm like, oh, whoa, where the fuck did you get that from?
It's there's a difference between having sex with someone with the same sex and having sex with a sex offender or having sex with an animal. Yeah. Like that's taking it way too left on the platform.
I think homosexuality suffers a lot because everyone else tries to kind of piggyback on that. Where I've heard someone say, I watch debates sometimes, and a person will go and they'll stand up and they'll say, "This is me. I was born this way. I was born attracted to men. I didn't choose it. Mm-hmm. I tried being attracted to women. It didn't work out. I want men. I love men. I enjoy being with men." And someone right behind him goes, "Yeah, I like little girls. I only want 13-year-old little girls. That's how I was born." It's like, no, you're a fucking pervert. There's something wrong with you. And then people go, okay, well, what's the difference? If we accept him, that he wants men, we should accept him. Like, we can't alienate people out. And I think people miss that line where it's like,
well, you can't compare. Like,
you can't compare because being gay doesn't mean that you're going and trying to be with 13-year-old little boys.
Right.
You abide by all the laws. You're obviously gonna date
a man,
or a boy, or a young man that's 18 and over. Right. If you are an adult, you will date an adult. You're not going to prey on 13-year-old little boys. But that's that stupidity that people have, where it's like, you're evil and you have STDs and you're it's the ruin of society. And I get from both sides. Where it's like, if I tell people, it's like, I love women. You are attracted to men. Mm-hmm. I have no problem with you. We're sitting on the table. I'm not making any stupid comments. You're not making any stupid comments or anything. People think that just because you're attracted to men, that all of a sudden the race is gonna come to a screeching halt.
Right.
But I guess people find that people are like, it's in us. Well, at least in me, it's like, yeah, I want to have kids and I want my line to keep going or whatever. But there's straight people who don't want kids.
Right.
There's people who it doesn't even matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with their sexual preference. They just don't want kids. So why aren't we attacking them? Because let's say everyone was straight in the world. Those people are a threat. Those people are the people that are not going to carry their line, continue their lineage. So they're they're the monsters. I guess, they would become the monsters then. Because like, why wouldn't you want to reproduce to make sure that our human race? We're like 2 epidemics away from being extinct. So why not reproduce? If you have the ability to, or if you have the desire to. Just people take it out of context. People go to the extreme all the time where, you know, at one point in time they considered black people 1/3 of a human. They considered them only 1/3 of a human. And then they actually were considered an entire person. And then it was Hispanic people. And it was just like, oh no, they're the help. And then we, even to this day, like there are places, just like there's places where you can go and you feel uncomfortable because the look.
Mm-hmm.
The people that are like hi, and then they just kind of give you that look of like
disgust.
Yeah, disgust. I was in Amarillo in Texas, and I found myself being the darkest person in the room in Amarillo. I went to a store because I was driving. I was doing a road trip from LA to Georgia, to Atlanta.
That's very ballsy of you.
And I stopped there just to get some snacks and gas and stuff. And everyone was almost blonde and blue eyed, and they looked at me, and I was literally I'm light compared to a lot of people. Yeah, and I was the darkest person in the room all of a sudden, and people are looking at me and giving me all these dirty looks. And I had some guy go, "What are you doing here, boy?" And I'm like, "Boy," I'm like, "You're not gonna call me boy. Like, you must be out of your mind. Like, I don't care if you're taller than me or bigger than me. You're not gonna disrespect me like that." Mm-hmm. And I just went. I got my stuff and I left. And I don't want to ever show fear to anybody because people bleed like I bleed. So it's like it's a coin toss. You swing at me, I'm gonna swing at you.
I've learned the same thing being a gay man in this body, in this world, because I can be in full drag and walk into a place where they've never probably seen that before, and I exude a lot of confidence because I am very confident in who I am and what I am and what I represent. So I can't ever instead of them making me feel uncomfortable, I'm always the first to make them feel comfortable or uncomfortable, however you want to see it, because I'm so approachable and nice, and I'm just like, how can you not like me? Like, how could you not like all this?
Yeah, see, I'm evil. Like, while the guy next to me sees you walk in the room and go, "Oh, look at him," I'll be like, I need to make friends with him because in about 2 minutes, all the hottest girls are gonna be next to him, and if he co-signs me,
like, then there's my way in.
Yeah, he co-signs me, and so I'm good. I'm harmless. I'm not gonna do anything to you, and so yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, see? I have a different...
You have a smarter approach, because you know what's up.
Yeah, but unfortunately, people are like that. And, one of the things my dad told me, he was like... Because I have 2 sons, and my dad told me, he's like, well, what do you do if one of your sons is gay? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to exile him, and I'm going to never talk to him again. I'm like, he's my son. I'm going to love him regardless.
Right.
I love him. He's my son. Why the hell would I never talk to him again?
I think the biggest thing, too, is for minority families in general, is I've told this to all my friends, that the best thing you can do is to parents that come from a different time and especially a different country, is to educate them by proving them absolutely wrong in terms of what they think that being gay is. Yeah. And I have to do that with my own mother, because she's not from this time. She was born in El Salvador, so it's like what I become is something that's even bigger than her control or my control. So it's like, I take care of you now. Like, it's like the roles are reversed. Yeah. So she's just like, how can I not love you even more now? She's like, I'll always love you. I loved you as a kid. I loved you when you were being picked on. I helped you with, anybody that was ever bullying you that was an adult that I knew that wasn't supposed to play that role, that was supposed to be a teacher or a coach. And she's like, and now more than ever that you have your claws out and you can defend yourself, I'm gonna love you even more because I want you to see you continue to grow and succeed and excel in whatever it is that you put your mind to. So that's where I'm at with it. I definitely feel like I told my mom too this. I said, if you had allowed me to be myself a lot sooner, our relationship would be 20 times better than it is now. And we have a great relationship. But I just told her, and I tell kids, because actually one of my friends just asked me this, that she thinks her nephew is gay. And he's 6 or 7 years old. And I was like, there's always early signs that, your kid's different. I wouldn't classify him or categorize him as anything yet because it just may be a phase. It just may be that he's into girly things. It doesn't matter. Because just because he's into girly things doesn't automatically make him gay.
My oldest son, he likes to sing.
Okay.
And he saw this, I think it was like West Side Story or something where, they're dancing and they're going like this.
Snapping and stuff.
So every time he hears the song, he goes, oh yeah. And he starts moving and he like moves his hips a lot.
Right.
And my dad was like, hey, don't do that. And I go, what, sing? Like, snapping his fingers and moving his hips isn't going to make him like men.
Right.
He's going to be, if he's gay, if he's going to be gay, he's already gay.
Right.
There's nothing I can do to stop it. I'm like, I'm not gonna make him feel uncomfortable and tell him things, Obviously, I'm gonna teach him how to be a man, even with whatever sexual preferences he chooses to be. He's gonna be a man, which means respect other people, always have manners, always act like you weren't raised in a farm, and always be courteous to other people. There are people who I've had same friend of mine. Same friend of mine that whenever he goes to his house with his boyfriend, he's tones down the PDA.
Okay.
Because he knows his dad's a little bit uncomfortable with it, and so he's like, yeah, my dad is extremely heterosexual. He has like 2 other brothers. And his other brothers are like, they run through women like a high school hallway. And he goes and he shows up with his boyfriend. And he's fine with it. It took him a while to get there, but he's fine with it. But he's like, I'm also not going to disrespect him by like tongue kissing my boyfriend in front of him all the time, stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's like you show him respect. Like he knows who he is. He acknowledges it. He's not like in denial going, no, he just...
It's a phase of his friend.
Yeah, it's just a friend that he kind of hugs and sleeps with, every so often kind of thing. But there's ways of doing it. And then there's people who are just like, no, you have to accept me because I'm loud and I'm this and I'm that and I don't care, fuck what you feeling and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, even as a heterosexual, I'm not going to damn near finger my girlfriend in front of my mom. Right?
Right.
It's like, oh, this is my... I introduced, my ex-girlfriend to my mom, and she got all nervous, and I thought it was funny. I thought it was cute.
Right.
And she goes, no, and she started being concerned about how she looked and everything, and I'm like, yeah, it's that. You have to show respect to people, regardless of whatever it is that you are.
It's respect, and it's just, like, we all get nervous when we're first meeting someone else's parents.
Yeah.
It's like a big stage in that relationship to do that. And it's like, that your parents are mostly going to... If they co-signed, it's looking great for the relationship. And if they don't, it's like, shit. Have I been wasting my time this entire time? So it's
you're like, girl, I told you to smile more. You fucking up.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. It's crazy.
So I got to segue into it. Are you single? Are you
entertaining and I knew that was coming.
Do you have situations? Do you have Monday, Tuesday, Friday?
I am currently single. I am recently out of a relationship. And I'm good friends still with the person that I was in a relationship with. And which is rare because I don't normally end relationships on a good note, which is something that I'm working on. And this past relationship, the fact that I'm still friends with this person, shows my growth.
Your evolution.
My growth and my evolution.
No bricks to the car, no key.
No. It's most of the things that's very... With me, it's because of what I do. That's because of who I am.
Yeah.
So it's like the person for me, the ideal candidate, has to be an enhancement and not an enablement. And I've said that to these people in the past. Like, I can't date somebody that is needy or consistently needs like me to be present for them to know that I care or that I validate them or complete them. Like, I have a duty as myself to, I owe it to my fans and to people that support me, you know, to provide them with great clothes and get good advice and take good pictures, like all this stuff that it takes a lot of work, you know? It's not like I just wake up in the morning like, okay, well, I'm going to post all day on my couch and then it's going to just magically make my bank account grow and my following grow more. That's not how it works. There's so much work into it. So I personally feel at this point, the ideal candidate for me is not in the entertainment industry, is in a complete different industry, but nonetheless, an industry that keeps them busy enough for them to not only like say, wow, I commend you for what you've done on your own, but I'm also going to keep up with you because I want someone that keeps me on my P's and Q's, basically. Nobody wants someone that's going to be just a yes man or a yes woman, whatever it is that you're into. And like, you know, I want a challenge. And I think that once it doesn't become challenging anymore, I get turned off. And I don't want to, you know, waste my time. So
someone that's never boring.
Exactly. And that's someone that's going to intrigue me and like, you know, in all forms of the word, you know?
Yeah.
Stimulate my mind as well as my organs.
I think we're in the same place. I need someone that breathes underwater.
Right, there you go. That's like, that's different.
Yeah, we had to talk, and you know where I'm at in my situation, and yeah, they're gonna have to breathe underwater, fly, and and do my taxes.
All while singing to you in like 20 different languages.
Yeah, trilingual, you know, stuff like that. Which I might. I'm gonna have to use you to be my Cupid because I can't find it.
Well, I know a lot of people, so especially girls,
and I'm a magnet for crazy. So
then that's something that you get to fix on your own.
Yeah,
because you know you attract I'm gonna say you attract what you are, but you attract things purposely into your life.
You know what my flaw is, and I think you have the same one too. Just you gave me that impression. There's no lost causes, and so you look at someone and you see their potential. Because people like me and you will see someone's potential. We'll see what they can be. And I always tell my best friend, potential is a muddy road.
Yes.
You can be that guy that is the superstar of their football team in high school. But if you don't keep pushing yourself, once the lake turns into an ocean, you're no longer the big fish in the lake. You're the little fish in the ocean. And if you don't grow, everyone else and their mom has talent. And if you don't keep, you know, pushing yourself to be the best, then you get left behind. And you end up being that guy, the guy that goes, hey, remember him? He was great in high school. What happened to him? And he's not doing anything with his life. And he's living off of his memories of what he did in high school and how he bagged that pretty chick in high school. But now that pretty chick has moved on or she's let herself go and she's doing nothing and he's doing nothing, and then they're just unhappy. And so I look at the people that I've dated, I've always known for them, even the crazy ones, they've had the potential to be great. Not just good, but great. And some of them have pushed themselves to be great, and some of them just kind of got stuck in that muddy road and never got off the ground.
I agree. I was with you, and I'm still with you when it comes to all that, because you hit the nail on the coffin when you said we know the whole
we recognize potential.
Yes, that, because I can't tell you how many projects I've dated.
You're like, I've dated some bomb ass.
No, I've dated some projects, like fixer-uppers, as my friend calls them. And I keep consistently attracting those people because I think they see me and they think, oh my God, he's like, has it all. Like, he has this, that. And let me be clear, I don't have it all. I'm still building, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, but I have ambition, I have drive, I have a drive like no other. And I think that's what I attract. So I attract those who say they want that life. So like whatever, we date, it is what it is, and then down the road we find out that they don't want it as bad as they say they did because
Then the
they're
work
too
ethic
lazy.
comes.
Their work ethic isn't as good as mine, or as high as my bar is. So it just comes to show like I needed to change something in order for it to become a reflection. It was truly because it was a yo-yo effect. It was like, okay, let that one go, new, let somebody new in, and it's like, oh, great, same personalities, same traits, red flag, gone with the wind. Here comes the next one. And up until now, I have just decided that I'm not doing that. I'm just not going to put myself through that. I'm going to date someone that is, like I said, in a completely different field, or if not just that, just someone that's like a go-getter, an aggressive person that's like, knows what he wants out of life and is an enhancement.
Yeah, they have their bar is set up a lot higher than that.
I think that's what I need. I've never dated any. No, let me not say never. I have, but I'm saying I haven't. I have yet to date someone that is like that. That has completely blown me away.
Yeah, I tell people, my high school sweetheart set the bar very high
For the next person.
Yeah, and I had a lot of girls tell me they started thinking she was a mythical creature. Oh, this girl was faithful. She didn't sleep around. She didn't do this. She didn't do that. Man, you're crazy. You're never gonna find her. And people started thinking that I was still in love with her. And I'm like, no, she's just someone who set the bar very high. And then someone came along and put the bar up a little bit higher. Actually, a lot higher. And now I'm stuck looking for a mermaid / superhero. And it's going to be harder, but I refuse to accept anything less than what I deserve. I work really hard. I'm an honest person. I know sometimes it's very difficult because of the people around me, or just, I end up in different situations when you're in the industry, when you have to work as hard as we do. There's different things that come up, but I'm always been faithful.
Which is a hard trait to find.
I have never.
Nowadays.
This is. I always tell people this is on my son's life. I've never cheated on a woman because I've been cheated on and I know the feeling, and I would rather. I associate lying with fear, and I'm not afraid of anyone. So if I don't want to be with somebody, I let them know I don't want to be with you. I'm sorry if I'm hurting you or if it hurts you, but it's over. And then I go on and I start pursuing the person that I really want. That's why I always try to make sure that I'm with exactly the person that I want. So I don't end up in a situation where I'm with this person and then I keep looking, back, or I keep looking to the side of me and going, I want to be with the other person. That's something that, you have to have integrity. You have to keep your word for that. And not a lot of people have that. It's too much work for them, but it's like,
it's hard to find. Those are rare qualities to find a person nowadays. Just as a person, not even as a relationship, let alone a relationship. Damn, it's twice as harder.
Yeah, people are like, oh yeah, I'm gonna show up, and then I'm still waiting on them to show up.
Right.
One thing that is on my bucket list, I'm gonna bug you until you say yes, and I will eventually. Like, I know you have clothing line, so you're gonna have to make a midget section for me. I am going to be one of your models. Yeah.
Okay.
And
there is no need for me to make a midget section. If you've noticed, most of my campaigns and most of the models that I use for my work are not really models. I like using real people because guess what? Real people are the ones buying the clothes.
Yeah, it's like I don't look like Kim Kardashian. I don't look like Hugh Jackman.
Right. So why put someone that doesn't look like I'm just over the stigmatas of like forcing people to believe, oh, if I buy that shirt, or if I buy this energy drink, or if I buy those cigarettes, I'm gonna get this. No, it's like no, like they're cool clothes, they're affordable, and guess what? They'll make you look and feel good because they're good clothes.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't like to use the.
You don't like to sell a dream.
The figuratively looking like models. I like real people, and that's easier done than said.
Yeah, people get shy. People are like, I don't know. But yeah, I always tell people I'm just trying to be the Mexican Hugh Jackman, where it's like I'm gonna work out because I worked out, I lost a lot of weight, and then my leg.
Congrats.
Thank you. My leg got injured because a car hit me while I was on my bike. Some guy swerved to not hit a car and rather hit me, and so I haven't been able to work out for like 2 months, and I
Right.
just kind of snacked and ate pizza.
And
Yeah, and
it caught up.
gain a little bit of the weight back, but I will be working out again, and I will look better.
You're going to. And when you're ready, whenever you think you're ready, that's when we'll work together. Because I don't like to condone crazy diets or binging and stuff like that. I'm like, when you feel your absolute best, that's what should you, because that's when it'll show in the pictures.
Yeah. I'm gonna show up like LL, just kind of biting my leg. Like, can you not do that? That's kind of creeping me out. And the photographer, stop it. My bad.
You're
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, I don't take myself too seriously. But people don't get that. That's why I did the show, because people think that I'm like that when I promise something, even if it costs me money.
Right.
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
Yes. And stuff. I always keep my word because
I can definitely say you definitely are a man of your word.
Yeah, I try to be, because
you have to be.
Yeah, past the money and past everything else, I want you to know that if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it.
And I believe you.
Yeah. I like to be someone they could be counted on. So that's something. For anyone wondering, this podcast will be up probably a couple of days from now.
Awesome.
So I will hit you up on IG and
I'll post
your
it.
phone and on Facebook. And now that I know where you
live
at, I'll send like a messenger pigeon, and all kinds of things.
I'm horrible on Facebook Messenger. Ever since they made you download, I don't know, do you have an iPhone?
Yeah.
So they made you download an app for the messengers. I hardly ever check it, because when I'm on Facebook, I'm literally just on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know it's an extra step to go out, and then it's just annoying. But
yeah,
I'm glad we got to do this.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for accepting, and thank you for making time. Us little people,
There is no, I told you in the beginning, there is no little people. There's just small-minded people that think that they're above everything.
Yes, but we are definitely, I'm going to pressure you about the co-hosting the other segment for the Life as It Happens thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that I'm gonna be your model. I'm gonna
introduce you to a new girlfriend.
Yeah.
So I have a list of things to do from now until the next time we see each other.
Yes, that. If not, I'm gonna end up running on your photo shoots. Just I'm gonna be that blur that you gotta Photoshop out.
That's him.
Yeah, that's his shoe. He left that, and then you're gonna have that security guy like just tase me and throw me out.
You're too funny.
Yeah, I definitely see you're one of the people the type of person that I love to work with, which is you take things seriously.
I do.
You are very professional.
Thank you.
You are a workaholic, and like I told you on Facebook, your work ethic is second to none. Maybe mine, but we're racing for that number one spot of who works harder. But it never ends.
We each work hard in our own lanes.
Yes.
So it feels like we're consistent. We're always working, but it's the truth. We always are.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure when you go home after we do this, you're gonna go listen to this,
Yes.
try to figure it out how you're gonna edit it and make it perfect.
Yes. I have to I have to redo the intro, more exciting because I was reading off the thing, so I have to memorize it and then do it off the dome. Yes. This is not the end. This is just the beginning.
Just the beginning. Yes, and thank you again for having me.
Yes, and now you won't be able to get rid of me. I'm gonna be on your IG like, hey, remember? Don't forget the girlfriend thing. Don't forget the girlfriend thing.
I won't. I'll just be like, I'll post a picture of me and my girls, and you be like, just pick one.
I'm gonna just tag whichever one, or I'm gonna screenshot and then send it to you and be like, she has potential.
Is she single?
Yeah.
And I'm like, actually, yes.
Yeah. It's complicated. Well, how complicated? But yeah. Well, thank you for doing the show. Let's see. I always do this. I prepared the intro, but not the outro song. So let's see. What song can I use?
Bitch better have my money.
Right? Let's see.
That I'm making, but all the hustlers, they love it just to see one of us make it. Came from the bottom to the top of the pops. Nigga,
This has been Life as It Happens, episode 6, I think. And I am your host, King David, and till next time. Bye.
Niggas is crazy, baby. Don't forget that boy told you, kid. Turn up your shoulder.